And we're back. Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome back to another Tuesday night chat with the Muskrat and Mr. Creole Catfishing. What's going on, my Cajun brother? How you doing?
Man, it has been one heck of a week. It is. A lot of big news. It's a new year. All kinds of exciting stuff happening behind the scenes and out in public. For those
That's
of
right.
y'all watching the Golden Whisker nomination show, Roger and I are blown away. Absolutely blown away, and we appreciate y'all's support so much. It's I can't put it into words. It has been amazing. So we decided tonight we're going to hit the ground running. We're going to bring y'all good information right off the bat. First show of the year, we are going to roll.
I tell you, when you roll out this right here, you guys know how much this right here means to Jeremy and I. We try to share as much information as possible with you guys. We try to be as transparent as humanly possible.
Yep.
Some of the stuff is stuff we've experienced on our own. A lot of the stuff is things that we have picked up along the way. And to see our name next to Chris Souders and Two Stand is a big deal to me. Chris Souders is one of the reasons why this show exists.
Right.
This show exists because there used to be a show called Tackle Talk Tuesday by Chris Souders. And I fell in love with learning on Tuesday nights from Chris. And as his life changed and got hectic and still is, and he had to step away from that Tuesday night show. I don't know. I thought, you know what? I love learning on Tuesday nights, and I look forward to it so much. And so it's big shoes to fill, but we're doing our very best to try to bring you guys information and stuff along the way. But big time thank you to all you guys and gals that tune in on Tuesday nights and help support us. And for the folks that have nominated us again this year, 2 years in a row for Educational Channel of the Year, we just want to say thank you guys, man. That really, really means a lot. I don't think I deserve it over Chris Souders or Two Stands, but we will appreciate each and every vote if that's what you guys want to do.
You better.
And then the live talk show of the year. You guys also threw our name in the hat for that one there, up against the Boar's Nest and the Bait Shop. Totally different styles of shows here.
Yeah, that's right.
But that's what it's about. Something for everyone. And so we just wanted to say again, thank you guys for thinking about us and throwing our names in the hat. Whether we win or not, we are completely humbled and blown away that you guys held us in that regard. So
yeah, absolutely. Because there is a multitude of shows out there, especially this past year, and to be considered amongst these, can't put it into words, guys. Cannot do it.
Yeah, we're very humbled and very appreciative of what you guys have done for us here. It means more than what you know.
Absolutely.
But so tonight we're going to crack into a topic that we all love looking at our fish finders, right? And some of us more than others. I can tell you right now that I spend many hours. I know Zach also does the same, which is great because we both feel the same way. We can cruise around for hours just looking at our graph, either scanning and making our own maps in the rivers that don't have maps available to us, or just looking for structure, looking for sign, looking for hope. Because in the end, this is like a big game of chess, right?
Right.
We're trying to figure out where the fish are. We're going to go where they think they are, and then we use our sonar to confirm our suspicions.
Yes, exactly.
And so one of the things that stuck out in my mind is how often we pass up fish or drive over fish, or even I got some photos here. Some folks sent to me. People that may be fishing what looks like fish on their sonar, and it's not fish at all.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to kind of go through some of this stuff with you guys tonight. And the mindset behind it is to have you just slow down a little bit and take a better look at your graph. And maybe a couple of these things will stick out in your mind next time you're out on the water. Or if you're new to electronics altogether, and this is just all new information for you, well, we'll try to bring it down to a level that even I can understand. So
like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah. So one of the first things is let me see if I can get my pictures to pop back open here.
Before we get too far, I believe we have not said hi to people in chat yet.
Well, I think what happened was I got so excited with the whole Whisker Award thing.
Yes.
I got right out the bat, just went straight down the rabbit hole.
I know we were ready to roll this year.
Well, I could tell you that Uptown Chrissy Brown, not only is she a channel member, she checked in at 10:39 a.m. this morning just to make sure that she was first one in the house tonight. So hats off to Chrissy Brown for being there. So you have to bear with me. This house has been sick. Everybody's just been passing one person to the next, and I'm just getting over the end of my illness. So I'm going to be a little hoarse tonight, but Jeremy will help me out here.
We went through that a couple of weeks ago in our house, so I know the feeling. Trust me, I know.
So we got Kelly Bullock in the house, Stan 3 in the house as well as Mike Greenwell. Big Ranch is in the house. What's up, Brian?
Hi, Brian.
Catfishing Fresno, Stonefly 71. What's up, buddy? Pontoon Jody is in the house as well as 922 Crappie Barbecue. I see Mr. Dale Hayslip. Sampy's in the house. Lance McCoo guys here as well. Greg Burtis, what's going on? Let's see. Kentucky Redneck Outdoors, what's going on? Thanks for stopping in. I'm trying to get down. Hilly Billy Hondo. There's Jerry Parker. 72 Nova. Me and my dad built a 71 Nova. I don't think
nice. Good year.
There's Dan with Goober Time Guide Service. What's up, Dan? Thanks for stopping in. Frank Lampron.
My boy Epic. What's going on?
Epic also Catfish
nominated for another year for Guru of the Year. Congrats to Epic.
I think he deserves about half the categories, in my opinion.
I know, right?
I'll be honest with you. I have been completely out of the loop, especially on TikTok side, but keeping up with all the stuff and channels and new folks. I'll be honest. I went through the Whisker Awards and I saw a couple of names that I didn't know, and I was like, "Who the heck is that?" And I went straight to him and checked him out. I'm like, "Dude, where'd this guy come from?" Like,
few new ones this year. Good, it's good to see,
and some good stuff too, man.
Oh yeah.
Where'd I leave off here?
Let's see. I think we left off at Catfishing Chaos. See you in the house is going on, Mr. Mike Irvin, Mr. Wabash Nate's in the house. Quiet Man Curtis, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Got the hooks and hammocks. I'm assuming that's Chris. Good to have you in the house, man. Fishing in Freedom. Been a member for 17 months.
Wow, man. Richard, thank you so much for that, buddy. I appreciate that.
Let's see. Got Mr. Paul Edmiston in the house. Let's see. Greg Burgess. I believe we said hi, but Louisiana Brothers. He deserves two of them.
There you go.
Let's see who else we got. Mr. Jeff Beal in the house.
Beal.
Kentucky Redneck Outdoors. Mr. Trey Stroop in the house. Hopefully I said that right.
What's up, Trey? Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Mr. Harold Bolton's in the house. Matt, want to be outdoors? Good to see you, man. We've got Jake Schaefer in the house. Hopefully I said that one right.
What's up, Jake?
Welcome. Mr. Dave Garcher is in the house. Mr. Tom, LG Bass.
What's going on, buddy?
What's up, Smoke? Potomac River Monster. What's happening, bro?
Man.
Got Terry Stanfield in the house. River Chronicles. Good to see you.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Good to see you.
I talked to Charlie this week on the phone.
Yeah.
It was a good conversation.
Let's see. See a bunch of repeats. Everybody's saying hi.
Dustin, Team Snagging Whistler's in here. If you didn't catch him earlier, I saw him. Big Sean T. Chad Fields out there. What's up, Chad?
What's up, Chad? Yep, I see Chad lurking. There you go. David McCoy in the house. What's going on? Hey, Mama.
Mama's in the house. Good riddance 2023. You ain't kidding.
Yeah, no kidding.
Sweep that one under the rug. Let's move on.
Fat Boy Eric Adventures. Welcome.
Shade Tree Catfishing. What's going on? Dad's here as well. What's up, Dad?
I clicked off of it, didn't I?
Yep. You're good.
There's Dad. Good. Hey, it's good to have Dad back in the house. It is.
Hey, there's JR Fishing. They just popped up on my memories. It's about a year since we had them on the show.
Richard and Jamie, also another nominee for Female Angler of the Year. Miss Jamie, very well deserved. Great example of female angling in this community.
That's right.
There's
Zach Murray. Yesterday was his birthday. Got out on the water and got it done. Get hooked on D. Her boat got nominated, and she was also nominated.
Yeah, her boat. I'm glad you said it that way. her boat got nominated.
I pay attention.
And another boat nominee,
There you
Mr.
go.
James, Mr. Cool Catfishing.
Man, they have been on fire here lately. Hey,
Yes.
my dad's not the only dad in the house.
Yeah. My dad's in the house. What's happening? Yeah, the hunting season is over. So now he's ready to go fishing again.
Is he ready to go?
Yep. Hunting season's over. That's it. Ready to roll.
We got Buckeye Catfishing. Oh, I seen somebody from Facebook land there. I don't have my Facebook open right now.
That's what I was clicking up. But whoever you are in Facebook, welcome. Good to see you.
Thank you. We got 81 people in here already. They're just waiting for us to shut up.
I know, right? Yeah, they're waiting us to go through this. It's a long list, but I love it when it's a long list.
Hey, there's Justin's Fishing Fetish. Long time no see, buddy.
What's
Another
happening,
channel
Justin?
member, been helping us out all along the way. So, Justin, good to see you in here tonight.
Two stands. What's going on?
Here he is. That's our competition. We love him the same no matter what.
I know, right? And we got the weekend angler in the house.
You don't get much better than Josh.
Mr. John, River Cats Tackle. What's happening, brother? Good to have you in the show.
All right.
Let's see.
Hey,
Jesus,
we got
are like way
Trent Underwood
behind.
made it in there. Trent's local guy here. What's up, buddy?
Oh, cool.
All right.
River Catfishing in the house. Welcome. Let's see. Oh, there you go. There's Miss Jamie. She's in the house. Good to see you, Jamie.
She wanted to make sure she got her own seat.
Now you better believe it. I don't blame her. I don't blame her a bit.
All right.
Yeah. Yes, Chad. Yes. Her boat, your truck. That's how it is, brother. You can argue all you want, but yes, it's her boat. Sorry, hey, I don't make the rules here. I don't make the rules.
Hey, I seen this comment right here, and I like I said, I haven't been. I've been so busy this week, and everybody's been sick, so my social media presence has been pretty low.
Right.
But congratulations to the 15-year-old that caught a 94-pound blue this weekend. Holy smokes! I didn't hear about that.
That is amazing.
Yeah, anytime a kid could go out there and catch a good fish, but a 94-pound blue, holy crap! Yep. And I even heard. Go ahead.
And then for those who may or may not have been keeping up with the story, it's still kind of a new story. But an Ohio fisherman, Corey Jeffers, for those of you know who that is, TikTok and everything, came down to basically my backyard here in Louisiana, and had he been able to get an agent to come out at midnight on New Year's Eve, 118.04 pound blue would have been a new state record.
I got to say, hats off to Corey on that. Some of you guys have heard that story. Hats off to him for doing the right thing.
Is that you? Is that you, Corey? Okay. Well, that's you. Okay, I didn't recognize you.
There we go.
I didn't even recognize it. Okay,
I didn't realize it either.
I was going off of your TikTok, the Ohio River Catfishing.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for as well.
He was like, "Hey, that's me."
There you go. Epic's on it. He said he knew what was up.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, anyway, Corey, we're going to continue to say the words we were saying, which is, everyone likes to think they'll do that in that situation,
right? And
but Corey really stepped up and showed, where his heart is when it comes to conservation and comes to fish first. His reputation and his name in a book. There could have been a lot of accolades, depending on rods and stuff. There could have been a lot of money involved in that decision. But he put all that aside and put the fish back in the water and let it swim away. And I don't know a whole lot about Corey, but that is pretty good enough for me.
Yeah, I mean, and look, and I can tell you from firsthand experience, he and I had contact with each other a little bit leading up to that, and then we ended up talking a bit in the middle of this entire situation. And I can tell you what a gut-wrenching decision that was to come to the realization that, hey, record's not happening. Fish comes first, man. We're going to turn him loose. I was right there in it, hearing the sound of his voice when he made that decision. And it's not an easy one, but hey, look, hats off, brother.
Absolutely.
Hats off.
He says it was the net man.
Yeah, it was the net man.
Yeah, fantastic. Great story. I don't know how many different people sent me that story. I imagine it was just a fraction compared to how many went to Jeremy, because he's in Louisiana. But I got that same story sent to me several times this
Mhm.
week, and it was cool.
And
So,
to say that lit a fire under me, to
yeah,
have somebody from out of state just about break a record in my state, that has lit a fire. So yes. But that's what it should do. It should inspire other people to get out there and go after it.
Pontoon Jody, welcome in. Thanks for stopping in. Fat Boy Eric says 52 days until CatCon.
We counting it down.
We're counting it down. I will be there. I will be there. We're looking at the seminars now to see what all we're going to hit out. And then, man, I tell you, it's like it might be a dysfunctional family, but it's a family reunion nonetheless. Just about.
Yeah, he broke it. He did. He broke the record. It's a shame he won't have his name in the books for doing it.
Yeah,
but he did. He broke that record. Ain't no doubt about it. So I'll give you that one.
And Matt, Want to Be Outdoors, that's a good question there, and I don't have the answer, to be honest. He says, how long do you think it would take to catch that monster again before he's ready to eat? I got it.
Ooh, that is a very that would be, to me, that's an epic question right there.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
I have no idea.
Epic, you might not be seeing Jerry Parker if Jerry is on Jeremy's channel,
right,
Watson, and chatting on Jeremy's channel. Now we can see both from our end here.
Right.
But Muskrat Adventures chat and Creole's chat doesn't see each other. So we try to tell people, if you want to chat and interact, for the most part, everybody's on the Muskrat page, channel. And for people that are just kicked back, we ask them tune in on Jeremy's channel so he gets some watch time and gets some hours out of it.
Like my dad sitting on a recliner watching on the
back. There you go. All right. How long? Yeah. So I'm not 100% sure on that, man. I would say that, I don't know the mentality of a fish. If, they don't remember yesterday, or they don't have a yesterday or tomorrow. I do know Epic teaches us that, right?
Yeah.
All they know is now. And so if that fish is hungry now, I'm imagining he could still be caught immediately, because he doesn't have a memory that tells him, hey, man, last time I bit that right there, I had to go lay in the bottom of a boat. They don't have that ability. So they don't have a yesterday and they don't have a tomorrow. All they have is now.
Yeah, not at all. I'll say two things to this comment. Okay. One, this is all happening at 11:30, almost midnight on New Year's Eve. If you had to pick one night of the year not to have this situation happen, especially in Louisiana, one of the biggest party states there is, that would definitely be the night to not have to deal with this kind of situation. That's the first one right there. And Louisiana is not up to date yet with some of these other states for really making a giant effort to classify these catfishing records, especially when it's at odd times, odd days, things like that. That is something that in the future we are going to work on, see if we can't talk to the right people and maybe get some changes happening. But Louisiana is not there yet with recognizing trophy catfishing as a whole. I will say this, some of these big tournaments that are coming to our area, it's helping a lot with that, because it's opening the eyes and say, oh, wait, hey, this trophy catfishing thing is a big deal. We're not quite there yet. We're trying. Luckily, we have anglers that have care of the fish that say, you know what, we're not killing this fish to have our name on the books. We're going to do the right thing. But we'll do our best. We'll try to see if we can't get something changed, because I can tell you for a fact that the contacts I have in my area were of no help to Corey, because I live a little bit too far away from that area. That's out of their jurisdiction. Had he come here where I live, we could have got that record certified, no problem. But that's out of their hands because it's too far away from me. We tried. It just wasn't meant to be.
So there's a lot of conversation going around that last question about how soon can that fish eat again.
Right.
And I agree with actually every point of it there. Zach started it off with, that's a lot of trauma to an old fat fish, which
right.
They fight their guts out, right? That's life and death to them. They don't know that they're just getting their picture taken and going back home. They're fighting hard. So the recuperation time on a fish that size, it really all depends, depth, time of year, water conditions, and things like that. Because you also see Corey down here say they broke off 3 times on a big fish. They had it on video, their TikTok, and he finally catches it with all the leaders still in the mouth from being broke off. So it kind of, in my opinion, it kind of goes. It depends on time of year, the conditions, and Epic says it here again. Most huge fish don't eat for 3 days after a big traumatizing experience, but sometimes they'll eat soon, most likely if they're released back into the river instead of captivity. So, if they're able to rejuvenate quickly, and like he's in this scenario, he says fishing below. I thought he said the falls. At the falls on the Ohio. So, that's a highly oxygenated area where they could have recouped quickly.
Very true.
So it's a interesting question, but I think it's a case by case scenario that could go anywhere.
Yeah, there's no one blanket answer for that. It depends on so many factors. Because anytime you try to answer a question like that, somebody has an example that directly contradicts it. Hey, that's the beauty of it. That's nature for you.
Yeah. And then you got a lot of comments that, I've done it too. We've all caught the same fish in the same day. Some of us caught the same fish 2 times or 3 times in the same day.
Yeah.
It's possible, but So
he said the fish fight didn't last 10 seconds because he hit and ran straight to the boat. The big ones here do that. I've seen that a lot. By the time you reel down on them, it's like they want to pass the boat up. Many times that's happened to me.
Yeah, buddy.
I get that.
All right, we're going to go ahead and hop right into some of these. Now we've got a collection of some screenshots and some stuff we pulled. Right. Hey, I know what Howdy Fish Heads is. That's Harley Neal down there from Facebook. Hey. What's up, Harley Neal?
Mr. Harley, what's happened?
This picture got my attention for a couple reasons. One, this person's got their fish ID on, which,
right.
Some people like that. I personally do not like that.
Mm-hmm.
But what I want to show you, what I want to point out here is some of these things on the bottom, right? So we've got some suspended fish in this water, whatever this condition is. It's 74 foot of water is what we're looking at.
Right.
The long hair on the very bottom, these dark humps. A lot of times these actually are going to be your catfish down here.
Mm-hmm.
They look like they're part of the bottom, right? And I feel that a lot of people pass up some of these humps on the bottom because if you look closely enough, and Zach and I have dug in deep to this, and I think Chris Souders is the one that kind of put it out there for us to, hey, pay attention to these humps.
Mm-hmm.
You're driving over fish. You could be passing fish up because they're not suspended, or it just looks like the bottom. And in reality, a lot of these on the bottom are going to be some of your fish. Now, you can tell by looking at this picture, you got the straight yellow line, then there's something up above it, right?
Right.
It could be a stick, a log, it could be a rock or something like that, but a lot of these also have the potential to be fish. All right. So one of the things that you can do to help, let me see if I can get this figured out right. One of the things that I wanted people to think about here and look at is an image like this right here, where
it tried to zoom in and then it went back. Yeah, you had it for a second.
I don't know why I did that. Let me go back over here real quick. I got it again. So what I wanted to show you guys is this image right here, right? So this image here, how many fish do you think are in this image? Anybody got a guess? I'm not actually going to make you guess, but but the thing about this picture is using all the tools available, right? So this picture, hey, FOA Custom Freddy, man, nominated for I don't know how many different.
Yes, quite a few.
Yeah, quite a few. And deserving of all of them. So
community servant, innovator of the year, product of the year, I believe, just to name a few.
So the point of this image is, if you're one of I know there are lots of guys out there that have, Zach is on it. Zach is on it.
But Jody, that's what inspired this show. Is one of our conversations inspired this very show. So really, thank you for that.
She used to send them to me. I don't know what happened.
She's
rotating. All right, the reason I wanted to show that image is because for folks that only run 2D sonar, it has its time and place. But in an instance like this photo here, without the down imaging to confirm your suspicions, it is very difficult to tell what you're looking at. Roger, they are turtles. And they might be.
Might be.
But once you get to looking at this photo here, now there still may be a few fish in here, right? This here could be a fish right here, this smooth hump. But you're not looking at what you thought you was looking at originally. You know, you're like, oh my God, man, there's a couple giants hanging out right here. Looks like there's a brush pile or something. Might be a big fish hanging out right here. Without running your down imaging to confirm, you're really setting yourself up for failure, in my opinion. You know, this tonight's going to be our opinion. You know, things we've picked up along the way.
Yeah.
But I wanted to do it that way because I wanted you guys to think about it. Just get live scope. There you go. You don't have to worry about it no more. If the rock,
see if it's moving.
yeah, if it's moving, then you know it's a fish now.
Yeah, I know, right?
But just keep that in mind when you're out there. If you're a person that traditionally only runs 2D sonar, you may want to consider your down imaging as a backup, or run it split screen, or whatever you've got the ability to do, because you don't want to set yourself up to set up on an area like this.
Yes.
And yes, you could possibly pull a fish or two out of it, but when you first saw the image, you're thinking, oh my God, there's some monsters hanging out here. And in reality, it's not that way. You gotta really be able to dig into your graph and kind of, you know, confirm your suspicions. And that's really kind of what your graphs do most of the time. So as soon as I close this, it's going to stop me. So
there you go.
Yep, it did it again.
There you go.
All right. I'll go to this one here because this one is a big question most of the time, and I kind of want to get it, or if it makes sense, because we also get questions at times like, I don't know the difference between 455, 800, 200. What, I don't understand what I'm supposed to be using. Which one's better for what scenario, right? This one actually doesn't have the 800 on here, so I didn't realize that at first, but it does give you a really good idea of your lower numbers. All right. So like 455, okay, you see it on your side imaging. It's going out 180 degrees from side to side. So for me and most people, 455 is a wide range, high. It's very powerful, right? So it can reach out really, really far and bring back images. But when you go up to 800 or you go to mega, what happens then is your cone gets much smaller. So like down here, you're looking at your 2D on 200 is just a 20 degree small cone. And if you noticed in 2D, you notice it's a circle down at the bottom, right? It's a cone. Same with this 2D, 83 kilohertz. That's a 60 degree cone. But when you go to your down imaging and your side imaging, it is a flat image. It's like a laser scanning across the bottom. If you think about an old fax or an old scanner, Xerox in a copy, it is going across the bottom as a scanner. And the higher the number, the smaller that range is, but it's more detailed.
Right.
That makes sense. So what I like to do is I'll go by wide on 455, say, oh man, what is that over there? Drop a waypoint on it, come back around, and then I'll drop down to my mega or my 800, and I'll come in closer to it. Yep, 800 cone diameter, about a third of the water depth.
Yep. Good rule of thumb right there.
That's a good rule of thumb. It's not absolute because different companies have different, like this image right here was provided by Humminbird.
Right.
But Garmin and Lowrance do have a little bit different, scales because they've changed in so much. But diameter cone equals water depth. That's right.
And so, the fact that you have that cone shape and that round circle is moving across the bottom, that's what creates your arch on your 2D sonar. As the fish comes into the cone, the signal is weak. It's thin. As he gets to the center of the beam where it's the strongest, it gets thick. Then as he exits the beam, it gets thin again. That's literally what creates the arch, is the fish's movement through the cone, or the cone's movement through the fish, however you want to look at it. That's why when you're sitting there suspended and the boat not moving and the fish are just hanging around under you, there's lines. They're just because the fish is constantly under the cone, so it keeps hitting it, and it's just a line, and then all of a sudden you see the line fade away.
Yeah,
that means the fish has swam out from under the boat.
Now, one of the conversations that Jeremy had prior to the show was we was talking about arches and shapes that we're seeing on our sonar and what they mean.
Right.
And let me see if I can pull another image here for us real quick. One of the things that we kind of wanted the people to realize is that, man, this is a kind of a fuzzy image, but I'm going to use it anyway.
I heard someone say this once, that reading sonar and interpreting, especially 2D sonar, it's like playing golf. You can never win the game. You can only get better. There's no such thing as having it all figured out, but you can gain knowledge and get better as you go.
There you go. One of the things that Jeremy and I were talking about is a lot of people will try to identify or try to target separate their species based on the shape of their arches, right? So how the arch looks, how long it is. The only thing that stays consistent on these arches is, and when it comes to fish's size, is the girth, top and bottom.
Right.
Because everything else is relative to your speed. If you're moving fast, you're going to get a glimpse of that fish, right? And it's going to look like a real small little dot. However, if you're moving extremely slow, that fish may look long and huge because it stayed in the cone for a long, like Jeremy said, it stayed in the cone for a long time. Yep. Or even if you're stationary and that fish swims through your cone, everything can change the length and the curvature of the arch. But one thing that won't change is the girth. That girth, no matter how big it is, that girth is this girth. So when you're looking for big fish, looking at this image here, this fish right here, in my opinion, that's, without getting a good separation on these guys here, that's the biggest fish here. This fish looks longer, right? But this fish has a lot of girth from top to bottom. That fish might be facing a certain different way. Location in the cone makes fish look totally, yeah, exactly. Yeah. The fish could be facing every which way. Especially if you're in a lake scenario where the fish don't have to orient themselves with the current or flow. They could be facing every which way but loose, right?
Yep. Now, what's funny is, and we talk about color and color palettes and what the different colors mean and what that translates to. Now, Roger, in your opinion on this particular sonar picture, is that catfish or is that not catfish?
And not catfish.
Yeah. And if this were on my screen right here, because of the way my color palette is set up, I would tell you that's probably Asian carp.
Yep.
9 out of 10, that's what that is on my screen, because on my sonar, my hardest return, which also means the densest, hardest material, is yellow.
Yep.
Next softest is red. And then eventually my softest return, less dense return, is blue.
That's right.
Now, the shape of the arch, I like to see that shape when I'm looking for big catfish. Because keep in mind, the Asian carp in my area, dude, they can be 15 inches thick, the size of a really big catfish. Okay, thickness, length, shape, it could fool that sonar. But the color tells me that is a large scaled fish, because I'm not seeing any blue. I'm not seeing any blue at all. It's a little bit of red and a whole lot of yellow. That is a very dense fish on the outside of its body. A catfish is soft on the outside because it's a skinned fish. The density of a catfish is in its spinal column and in its head. So what I want to see is an arch that looks like that, but has a blue layer on the outside, a whole bunch of red, and then I love to see that little yellow blob, especially on one end of the arch, because that tells me that's where his big old head is at.
There you go.
I get excited when I see that shape, but that color design on my sonar, but that's how my colors are set up.
Yeah, it takes a while. It takes some time to see a fish and then catch a fish for you to confirm what you're seeing. So
yes,
I know you set up on a pile of fish and then you start pulling fish in the boat and you're saying, okay, I know what these fish look like now because we just caught them. Like for instance, Zach was out the other night or the other morning, set up on 3 fish and caught all 3 fish. A 12, awesome. A 13, and a 14.
That's awesome.
And I don't know if Chad's still in here before, but it made me look like a god that day, but it doesn't normally happen that way. But Chad and I, first trip out, I set up on fish. I said, there's 2 fish back here behind this rock. We set up on them. I caught the first fish and we caught the second fish. I said, all right, we caught them both. Let's go. Let's go find some more.
Yeah.
But it doesn't normally happen that way. It does take some time before you could start putting the 2 and 2 together. But the color will help you out a lot.
Yeah.
It'll also help you.
And Jerry, that's a great question. Yes. All units have different color palettes and color designs. I know, like on my Lowrance, just on my unit, I have 12 different color patterns that I can choose from. And I've noticed that from one brand to another, the color palettes really don't correlate all that much. There's a little bit of a difference in there. So you have to keep in mind, if somebody sends me a picture off of a Humminbird 2D, well, I'm a Lowrance guy. So you may have to give me some information on your color palette to try to help interpret that for you. It makes a big difference.
Hey, Tommy, we say hello to David McCoy. Thanks, David, for stopping in. Yeah, I seen a couple comments based around the same idea. Yeah. Stan 3 kind of said it here, but consistency.
Yes.
I know some people, I know Epic's in here, and Epic's one of them. He likes to change his sensitivity up and down, right? He wants to fade out everything else. He just wants to see the big fish, right? I don't care about anything else. I just want to see big fish. I, for one, I prefer to leave mine the same so that I could see the difference, right? So if I feel like if I'm constantly changing it, of course, Tim's got way more time on the water, a lot more experience with the graph, and that's probably going to be the difference here between him and I. Okay, there's a lot of difference between him and I, but I like mine to be consistent because I can consistently start putting, okay, when we see this, it equals this, and we consistently see that.
Yes. Yes.
And like Stan 3 says here, scanning at the same consistent speed. I know for Zach and I, our speed is like 3 mile an hour, right around 3. 3 is like perfect.
Yeah.
But if you start scanning at 4, things are going to look different. Well, if you normally scan at 3 and now you're scanning at 4, things are going to look the same. Or
yes, it drastically, that speed drastically changes the shape of your arch. The faster you go, the more drastic your arches are. You slow down, you get these long, low arches like this. You speed up, you start getting that, like that. They tighten up a lot the faster you go.
Okay, well, all right. Well, Epic kind of put it on. He does adjust the sensitivity, but he does not adjust the speed.
And the reason he does that's something that he taught me, and I've used that before. I will pass over, let's say, because sometimes you get like a pile of, it looks like a pile of fish, or sometimes it looks like a couple of really big marks, and you think, whoa, that's 2 or 3 70s down there. Epic's trick is to verify that, pass back over those fish again, but crank the sensitivity way down. Yeah. It'll help you determine if it really is 3 70s or if it's 10 15s. Because sometimes if a couple of fish get right on top of each other, it'll look like one big arch, and really it's not. So that's his way of verifying fish size, is by turning down its sensitivity And then you can see if it really is a couple of big fish or if it's a bunch of smaller ones that are just piled up one on top of the other.
Yeah. And stand 3, yeah, Epic agrees with that. You probably won't be in the right spot if you go too fast.
Right.
So, slowing down and taking time to evaluate what you're seeing, right? And understanding what you're looking at, I guess, is going to be kind of the moral of the story tonight. This next image here is a great image because especially this time of year, right? Bait, your shad are schooling up, right? They're getting in tight knits, and you're going to go out and you're going to try to catch bait, and you want big shad, right? You want 8 to 10 inch shad or bigger. But you're going out and you're marking bait piles, and you're like, well, how do I know if that's big bait or little bait? You can.
Yes, absolutely you can.
If you pay attention, you most certainly can know whether you're throwing on big shad or little shad before you ever let that net go. And we've all done it. We've all thrown our nets and pulled up 302-inch shad and thought, crap, and had to pick them out of the net, right? But if you take your time and look at your sonar.
That is such an awesome picture.
This picture is actually sent to me today from J-Dog. J-Dog and I were talking today about bait and whatnot, and he sent me this photo, and I looked at it and I said, those are big shad, aren't they? He said, yep. They were all over 8 inches.
Yep.
And the reason we could say that, even if you're only looking at 2D sonar here, the yellow is very dense, right? There are a ton of shad here making up this pile.
Yep.
But if you start looking at the edges, you can see individual fishies, right?
Right.
Mark, all these individual fishies around the edges. That is your confirmation that these are decent sized fish. Now,
right.
If you're running a down imaging like this one here, and you can see individual, you see all the peppering in there.
Yeah, the pepper. That's the word I was going to use.
Yeah, they're peppered in there. I'm not allowed to tell you where this picture came from, so I won't.
I don't blame you.
It came from J-Dog.
Yeah.
But yeah, just seeing how much of this bait is peppered in there. You take your time and look at your graph like this and see that, they're individually marked fishes. I can distinguish between several of these fish. That is going to be a good observation for you not to be throwing on a bunch of 2 and 3 inch shad. Now, not saying 2 and 3 inch shad don't work. At times they're the best bait in the world, but if you're looking for bigger shad, you can actually tell just by looking at your fish finder if you're getting ready to ambush or attack some image what that water smells like right there. Yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah, and you can tell, and you see, and that's another little bitty tip where Epic's trick of turning your sensitivity down a little bit, that'll also help you if you're running your 2D. If you turn your sensitivity down about 2 notches, you'll really be able to pick out those individual big shad in there and help you verify, oh, wait, this really is some big shad, Things like that do help a ton. Yeah.
Sensitivity and color palettes, for most of us, that is personal preference. I know color palette is, hey, Jimmy James Bailey, Catfishing, what's going on? Thanks for stopping in. Color palette, everybody's eyes are different, right? So, don't be afraid to try new things. I've been used to the same color palette now for a while, and just here recently, I looked at another color palette, and I was like, man, for some reason, that's actually looking better for me right now. And I'd gotten so used to looking at it the other way, I never tried another color palette. So, just because you've been using that one color palette forever, don't be so set in your ways that you don't try another color. Right. The cloudiness, conditions of the day, overcast, the sunshine, or even your own eyes changing over time. You may find a color that suits you better and allows you to see more things.
Danimal, what's happening, brother? Happy New Year.
What's up, Danimal? Anyway, I love this image we got from J-Dog today.
That's a really good one.
Just massive amounts of big bait. And so I'm going to try to find another one here. We had a couple other things that I wanted to make sure we got into and talked about. This one here's controversial. Controversial. I'm going to go for it anyway.
That is a good question here. When scanning upriver at 3 miles an hour, how much does current speed affect your image? For me, if my boat speed, my GPS speed is 3 miles an hour, what's flowing under my boat is irrelevant. The only time that will affect me in my situation is if I have a lot of trash or some muddy water. It'll make for a cloudy image because that stuff is passing under my transducer kind of fast. Sometimes you have to play with noise reduction and things like that to kind of tune that.
Just a little. It can affect the clarity just a little bit. Depends on how dirty your water is. Like for us, we're fishing right at the dam. We're going with the bubbles coming out of the dam. Images are going to look pretty good. As soon as we turn and go against the bubbles, they're flashing by super fast. It will cause a little bit of disturbance, but like Jeremy said, only if you've got trash in the water or bubbles or some sediment.
It doesn't affect the arches and the returns that you see. It's a water clarity thing. It really is.
It really doesn't.
Yeah.
It really doesn't affect much.
No.
No.
You'll see that fuzz in your image. I know for us, like after a big rain that river jacks up, you can definitely tell. They ain't no doubt about it.
All right, here we go. This is probably going to get me in trouble.
Ooh.
All right.
Yeah.
Huh. So it depends on who you talk to and where you go. You get a different answer. But this is your side scan. All right. This is a side scan, and this is your down scan. And this image is taken going over top of a tree. This tree's loaded with crappie, by the way.
Everywhere.
But here's what I'm going to tell you. That image, that area right there, the black, in this case, it's dark blue, but that black is underneath your boat looking straight down.
Yes.
That goes straight down and straight out. Now, I don't know if it's 100% 90, but it's going to be really, really close.
Yeah. The line where the blue turns to black on each side of the screen, technically that's the exact same image per se. It's both the bottom, but from there is left side, right side.
Yep. I've seen a question by James there, but I don't have the answer. So I'm going to try to come back to it there. Yes. So in this image here pretty much makes it black and white for you. When you're looking at your side scan, actually Zach has started doing this, and I've actually grown quite fond of it, is he takes out the center altogether. It's gone. And what that does is that brings your side imaging in and allows you to see more. It stretches your images out. You actually can see more.
I see.
Because that plane, the bottom that you're now looking at, got bigger. All right. So when you get rid of that black in the middle, if you've got down scan and 2D on, there's no need to see that under the boat.
True.
It's just looking straight down. I've already got 2 other screens looking straight down. I don't need my side scan looking there too.
Because it will confuse you. It is a little brain scattering to look at.
It will get a little crazy, even if you're used to looking at it this way. And then, hey Ted, thank you so much for that. You're more than welcome to interrupt us anytime, especially with compliments. We'll stop.
I know, right?
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. And I know there's a lot of videos out there, and I know this isn't. It may not be 100% black and white, but I'm telling you, there's enough information out there for you to see this, and enough of us are out here doing this to tell you that when you're looking in that black.
Oh, I think Roger froze up for a second. Oh, there we go. All right, now I got you back.
Did I freeze? Ooh, I don't know what happened there.
Well, you froze up for like 10 seconds.
Yeah, I seen that. Anyway, just keep that in mind that a lot of people say, it goes all the way out. It doesn't reach the bottom until X amount of feet out to the side. In reality, you have to subtract that. So I don't see what it is in this image here, but going out from the center to the side, it says it's about 40 feet, right? If you're looking at this and looking at the same image I am,
Yeah.
it says about 40 feet deep.
Yeah.
So out of 100 feet, 40 foot of what you're looking at is straight down. This that you're looking at right here, you're no longer scanning out 100 feet. You're scanning out 60.
60. Yes.
Because 40 of it is down before it hit the bottom, and then it went over. It's not combining 100 foot of information into that sliver right there. You're only getting about 60.
Yeah. Danimal, when you do, let me know, because I run an Elite TI2 on my boat. So we'll have a very, very similar unit. So if I have any questions, hit me up on Messenger. I could probably answer a lot of questions for you, being I have the same unit. This is a good question from Dad. Pretty sure I know what your answer is going to be, but I want to hear you say it.
Side scan.
Yeah. And I'm total opposite. If I had to do with just one, it would be my 2D, because we fish in such deep water. That is the sole reason for my decision, is the depth of water that I fish.
I will agree with that, because I could tell you that when Zach and I travel down to like Wilson Lake and we get into 80 plus foot of water,
right,
it gets very difficult. We got to go down to 455. And even then, sometimes we have a very difficult time using our side scan in waters excess of 80 feet. So I can completely understand why that would be an issue for you.
Yeah.
However, on my side of the spectrum, under less than 80 feet deep, we feel that we're able to spot fish in distances. We're also more able to accurately drop waypoints. Okay. So keep in mind, when we was looking at waypoints earlier, or looking at sonar earlier, anytime you're in 2D, that is a big cone. It's a circle. Right. Try to never drop a waypoint in 2D sonar, because you're not sure in that big circle exactly where that waypoint's dropping. It's not that accurate. However, on side scan, it is very accurate.
Yeah.
The measurements off to the side and dropping it, that GPS location is very accurate. Dropping it in a cone is not accurate. So in my opinion, dropping a waypoint, you should only use the down imaging like was here on your right, or side scan like you see on the left, because those, like I said earlier, are being ran by like a scanner. It's like a laser going across your screen. And if you drop a point on that, you're going to get a lot more accurate reading. And if you're hardcore, like, some of us get pretty anal about setting up on waypoints and throwing directly, feet. We're wanting to get feet within these fish's locations.
Right.
It could be crucial. It could be crucial.
Daniel, if you want, just whenever you're ready, just drop me an email. My Creole Catfishing at yahoo.com. Just whenever you want, just drop me an email, buddy. We can exchange info. That's easy enough. Just
wait till you use live scope. It's mind blowing.
Yeah. I can about imagine.
I've watched enough of it. It's on my wish list. It just hasn't made it to my budget list yet. They're completely separate.
Yeah, I know, right? Wine dreams on a beer budget. That's pretty much how I am.
Epic says he uses 2D sonar for about 95% of the time.
Yep.
And Zach's right. If we remember back to that image we pulled up early, I used my brain for waypoints in 2D. There you go.
Yeah.
Higher frequency in 2D is a smaller cone.
Right. Yeah, you can tighten it up a bit. Now, I do find side scan very useful. And because of my depth, I have the option on my sonar. I can, let's say, only look at the left side or only look at the right side of the boat. So what I'll do, I'll turn it on either left or right, get out in the channel just a little, and just use my entire screen to scan from my boat to the bank. And it lets me see a little more detail in those extreme water depths. The few times I use it, I'm looking for structures, sunk barges, holes in the revetment, things like that. I have not gotten to the point where I can pick fish and fish for fish off of side scan. I'm not at that point yet. That's why I take tips from him on that, because he does much more of that than I do. So I'm a student. I'm trying to learn.
The reason I don't like that black column in the middle of the side scan, this is an image from Zach's sonar. Um, This is what showed up in the black in the center of the side scan. This little sliver line is this fish.
Yeah.
This is it's that high up off the bottom that the shadow's that far away. But
Yep.
can anybody guess what that fish is?
Ooh, I know exactly what that fish is.
Yeah, I'd say most of you probably got that one figured out, right? Yeah, that's a big old.
That is a big one.
That's a big old spoonbill, and but that's one of the reasons why, like that information in the center, you know, if that's all you see is that right there, that gives you nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You may not even noticed it, but the shadow is what gives you all the detail, all the information. So that, that's kind of the point we're trying to make is, for me anyway, the side scan gives me so much more information than what down imaging and 2D does.
Right.
I'll learn side scan and waypoints.
Side scan is very useful to us that time of year when we're trying to locate those schools of Asian carp to snag them for bait. Man, that helps a lot to locate those things because I can get in there, not only find them, but I can tell which way they're turned, and we know exactly how to hit them. And man, it's helped us out a lot.
Actually, I thought this was a different image. I thought this was our image, but I don't think it is. When you see something like this.
Ooh.
Yeah. Now.
Ooh. I remember seeing this image somewhere before. Man, where have I seen this? It's not the first time I've seen this image because I remember the discussion of, is that a massive spoon of catfish or is it not? And I remember the theory was that catfish, they'll group up, but they kind of tend to be, they won't all face the same direction like Asian carp will. They'll be a little scatterbrained. And that's the theory that this is just a big old school of medium-sized catfish.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was going through my phone and I seen this picture. I don't know why. I thought it was an image that Zach and I had of a bunch of gar. And then once I pulled it up here, I realized it wasn't Zach's unit.
I don't know why I'm thinking this come off of like Chris Souders' unit or something like that. I remember Chris Souders
no
comment about this. I don't know.
No. Look at the boat. If you look at the boat in the background here, it looks like a tracker, maybe. Oh,
I don't know where that one come from, but that is definitely not Asian carp because when you see Asian carp on side scan, they are lined up like this. They're all in separate but straight lines. They're all be facing almost the exact same way. The fact that these fish are all turned from each other very well could be catfish right there.
Yeah,
I believe it is with some other things mixed up in them. Don't get me wrong.
There you go. The thing is, and you guys have heard me say it before. I know Stan 3 is in here now, and 2 Stans is in here, and they've all heard me say this before. It doesn't really matter what graph you got or how much money you spend on it. I'll admit that there are better graphs than others, and there are some that are just, in my opinion, Humminbird side scan is just hard to beat. I've seen so many things on Zach's unit. It's taken Zach a long time, and Zach's still learning and finding new things out about his graph. The learning curve on Humminbird is pretty steep. If you've got some experience with other units and then you go to a Humminbird, I don't think it'd be that bad. Starting out of the gate with Humminbird and trying to figure it all out, I think would be tough. But it doesn't matter if you got a Humminbird and you got a 12-inch, a 15-inch, or whatever. You got your Chad Fields and you got a 65-inch Garmin on your boat. If you can't read it and decipher the information that's given you, it doesn't matter what it is.
Right.
And Stan 3 used a black and white $99 whatever for out in the how long. And if you guys don't think Stan 3 can catch fish, you're not watching the same Stan 3.
Yeah, 100%.
Because he knows, even with a $99 unit, he can decipher exactly what he's seeing.
Yeah, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, and so in the end of tonight's show, that the real message we're trying to pound home is to know what you're looking at, slow down and take a look at what you're seeing and how to operate. Yeah, there you go. Learn how to operate whatever unit you buy.
Right.
And become the expert of you. Whatever you got,
Right.
become the expert of that. And that's it. Because everyone's got different stuff. That's why everyone's so jealous of me. I just need the bigger one because I'm blind. Well, I'm jealous too.
Yes, Patrick. Yeah, that's fish.
Yeah, that is all fish.
That is a big old school of fish. And you can kind of look at the shadows.
Yeah.
To me, most of those, I'm gonna say 50% of those are catfish.
That right there looks like a catfish.
Yeah,
if I ever saw one.
Yeah,
belly hanging down. Reminds me of myself.
It's catfish and gar. It's like they're mixed up.
Yeah. Yeah, some of these long skinny ones out here, I think they are probably gar. But yeah, this image here, that's not the image I thought it was. I thought it was a gar image that Zach and I got about this time last year, actually off the James River, but it wasn't.
Okay.
But yeah, so that the whole thing is kind of slow down and take a look at what you're looking at. I'll give you this little bit right here too, if I can get it to play. Let me see. I'm not sure if this will work. I'm going to try it. Let me see what happens here.
Yeah, try and see what happens.
This is actually a clip from Chris Souders that shows a large fish that most people overlook, that most people I think would drive right past and not pay attention to, or have a hard time paying attention to, and that's this right here. So this is Chris. This is a Slunger Cat on Slunger Cat Outdoors on TikTok. So, is there sound?
No, there's no sound.
Hang on, I'm going. So what he's saying is this right here, that little spot right there is on the backside of this hump. That's a really good fish. He's telling us that that's a really good fish right there. I'm going to pause it again when he goes. You guys can see right there, he had that circled. See how small, how minute that is right there. How easy that is to overlook. But, well, we're going to look at all of Chris Souders' videos, but
right.
The concept there was just how easy it is to overlook. And like, he said that's a big fish. And I think a lot of us have overlooked those small details in the past because we're looking for what some of these images show is big, giant marks up off the bottom, no brainer. Holy crap, that's a monster. But in reality, if we slow down and look at the details, we're probably passing a lot of fish that we shouldn't be. And so just paying attention to the details and understanding what you're looking at on your graph, no matter what graph you have, become the expert of your graph. Christmas Eve, that 52 was in with some carp. So, So Greenwell knows what he's looking at. He's done this. We all know Greenwell spends a ton of time on the water, right?
Right.
That's why he was nominated for multiple Golden Whiskers again this year. He spends a lot of time on the water. He knows what he's looking at. He knew that fish that he caught was mixed in a bunch of carp. Some people would see a bunch of carp or a bunch of Asian carp or even a bunch of gar and leave the area or go somewhere else and fish. But he spotted something in there that told him, I need to fish this, because guess what? Carp are bait. Right. There's predators there to eat those carp. All right.
And you know exactly how I feel about a group of big gar feeding in an area. Yeah. I get very excited. I've caught a lot of nice fish just downstream of some big feeding gar. A lot of big fish.
Yeah. And I got that from Jeremy. Jeremy started talking about that. Epic said I would overlook that on purpose. But you're not fishing the Ohio River. A 50-pounder is a big fish here.
Right.
I don't know what that fish ended up being. I don't think he
knows?
stuck around to say, but Epic's on different. He's on a different level than we are.
There's the epic scale of fish size, and then there's the rest of us normal people. Yeah, you can't go by the epic scale. You can't do that.
If I'm above 40 feet, I use bottom lock with zoom so you don't miss them. Now I don't know what graph you're using. The only problem I have with bottom lock on Garmin is it does not give you the structure. It doesn't give you any contour at all. It's flat. So bottom lock stays completely flat. You don't get to see any ups and downs.
Okay.
That kind of takes away exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for humps. I'm looking for breaks. I'm looking for logs and structure.
Yep.
So I'm looking at different things. Now, I do have on Garmin, there's a function called zoom, and it's basically a magnifying glass, and I keep it located on the side of my screen at any time. I can take my finger and swipe it over and magnify anything I want.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about it last year. We didn't, with Jeremy's work schedule out of town, we didn't get to the point where we could do this with daylight. But we will end up having a series this year where we're going to do live on the water breakdowns of, with me and my Garmin, and Jeremy's going to go out with Lowrance. Yep. And I'm sure I could talk Zach into going out with the Humminbird, and we'll be able to do live on the water Q&A with real live scenarios right now.
Right.
For people that have questions about the different types of graphs and what we're looking at and what we're seeing.
Yeah. Once the time changes again, we should be able to make that happen.
Yeah. Yeah. We didn't get to make it happen before the time change this year. We had talked about it and we had hoped for it, but we didn't get to put the plan in action, but it is coming. So it'll be live seminars for each of the three major, brands.
Buddy. Zach said he's in.
Zach said he's in. I know he is. Zach's excited. Zach has learned a bunch. I mean, he's bought books, read the books, videos. I mean, he has fully invested himself in his graph, and it pays off because he knows what he's looking at. He's been able to figure it all out. Roger, we are super high tech now. Humminbird Helix 5. Oh my God. Set the world on fire. But so he upgraded out of the black and white. But no, Stan, I've always bragged about you guys and your ability to read sonar and catch fish based on your ability to decipher exactly what you're seeing. You know what you're looking at.
Yeah.
80 pound and 75 pound we're holding on a tree in the Green River. The 75 was harder to see, but we seen him and caught him. That is probably one of the most rewarding feelings in the world is when you see a fish and then you put him in the boat.
You better believe it. I will, Epic.
Oh yeah.
Give him a heads up when we do that show. We're going to
make sure the bell notifications.
Yeah. When we plan that, we're going to advertise the heck out of it. I promise. It won't be a secret from anybody. Yeah.
And the same goes for Jeremy and I both. A lot of times I've been on the water. I try to share and show things, and I've shown my graph, and I'll instantly, questions start coming in about wanting to see, different things. And so we thought, man, let's make a series out of it, make a show out of it, and do live on the water scenarios. So we can actually give you right there. Going to have FaceTime Jeremy's. Yeah.
And I think that's what you have to do. You have to find a little network of people who at least have the same brand unit that you do. And it helps a ton. I know Doc Lang, he's a big Lowrance guy. Most of what I know about my unit has come from watching Doc Lang and seeing him on other shows and a lot of stuff. Chris Souders also uses some Lowrance stuff on his boat. Learned a lot from him. He
used to be all Lowrance. Now he runs Lowrance and Humminbird.
He picked the units that do the best of whatever he wants, and now he just mixes the brands up, which, hey, that's the way to do it, in my opinion.
If I could afford to do that, that's what I'd do. I'd have a Humminbird for my side imaging. I don't know. In my opinion, Garmin isn't the best at any of it. Garmin is not the best side, down, or 2D, but it is really good at all of them.
Right.
And it's easy to use. It doesn't take a lot to figure out Garmin right out of the box. Most auto features on Garmin are good. Like one of the things that I can't believe every other company doesn't have is I never have to adjust my scroll speed, right? Because scroll speed is huge. It'll change everything. If your screen is going by faster or slower than what you're moving, right? Garmin, it automatically adjusts itself. You go faster, it goes faster. You slow down, it slows down.
That's interesting.
It's auto. And I'm like,
Wow.
are you kidding? We're this far along and we're just now doing that.
Wow. Yeah, because I know mine don't do that.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't know why Lowrance and Humminbird, they've definitely got the technology. I mean, they got this land over the speed over water and the speed over land, on the screen right there. But each individual units have their,
right.
Perks and drawbacks. Like I said, the only drawback to me on Humminbird is the learning curve, and they are a little more expensive. I think Garmin is the best bang for the buck. That's why I got it. And that's what I could afford. So that I got the best that I could afford. And Lowrance, I think, is really good. Lowrance is better, I think, than Garmin. And I think it's easy to use.
Yeah, Lowrance, I find, is very user friendly. It doesn't. If you don't know anything about any of them, I think you will figure out a Lowrance faster than the other two. From pictures that I've seen from other people, I think my 2D on my Lowrance is awesome. I think the down scan and the fact that you can overlay your 2D on the down scan screen, that is awesome feature on the Lowrance. I absolutely love that for mine.
That is one of the things that most people cling to, is that the down imaging and the overlay for Lowrance is really, really good.
Yeah, it is nice, man. I have found fish where what 2D misses, that down scan with the 2D overlay, it just makes everything pop. I use that a lot.
I agree with this comment 100%. Even with all the graphs and gizmos, still hard to beat knowing how to read the water, at least on the river. And you're 100% right. Don't ever for 1 minute think that you can go buy a graph and put it on your boat and head out and start catching fish, because you have to get your boat to the area that the fish are at.
Right. Yep. Because all you could do is burn a lot of gas just looking. If you don't understand how to read that river, figure out where the fish should be, then use your electronics to see if you're right about if the fish are there or not. That's what electronics are all about. The electronics will never be a crutch that you can just start going up and down the river like a lawnmower looking for fish. That's it just won't happen that way. Right? I think Roger froze up on us again. He'll be back here in just a second. Time for me to go to bed. I can break. See, she hasn't picked on me all night, but boy, she saved the good one for last, didn't she? Man.
I thought I lost it for the night right there, but what Jerry said there, reading the water. If you think you can put your boat in, and if you put your boat in and go out and catch fish, it's not going to work. You got to put your boat.
Like I was saying, if all you're going to do is go up and down the river like a lawnmower, waiting to see a fish, you're going to burn a lot of fuel. A lot.
Stan says, you guys hit him with the high tech and we'll do the low tech. We'll hit him from both ends.
Stan, y'all are the shining example of why you don't need to spend $5,000 on electronics to catch fish if you can use what you have to the best of your ability. Y'all are that example, hands down.
Yeah. And I know you guys have heard me say that for a long time now.
Yeah.
As that's what we all strive to be. We want to be able to, if you guys are reading your graphs and you're using, a Helix 5 is a good graph. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's small to read, but if your eyesight's still good, it's no big deal.
Right.
But you don't have to spend, $5,000 on a unit. I would like to spend $5,000 on a unit.
I know, right? It'd be nice. If somebody wants to send me a $5,000 unit, I'll be glad to compare it to my probably $500 unit now versus what I paid for it. I would gladly do that for someone. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah. Anybody wants to make a donation to the channel, and we will go out and and put that $5,000 unit to the test. We will test everything you want to know about it.
Oh yeah. Somebody wants to go ahead and buy that $15,000 15-inch Simrad and send that to me. Hey, I will gladly do all the reviews you want. Promise you.
Tim says, I burn a lot of fuel just going to area and thoroughly examining it. Yeah, yep. We do the same. We're on the same page there, bud. We will travel. Sometimes we will travel. Some days we travel more than we fish.
Right.
Because we're just not seeing what we want to see. We'll continue to hop and skip and jump and run until we try to figure them out. And some days you just don't figure them out.
It happens.
And some days you do. But
that right there.
I forgot that I had something for us.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I got this right here. So if you guys remember, Kelly Bullock and their show on Wednesday night, they did a farewell a couple of weeks ago. But one of the things that we always look forward to in Kelly's show was his the angler spotlight or highlight.
Mm-hmm.
And out of the kindness of his heart, Kelly sat down and made one for us and sent it to us and said, hey, if you guys want to show this one, I've already got it made for you. And so, Kelly, if you're still watching, thank you. And we're going to play this for you guys. And I'm not sure if it ends when we're done, but we're going to wrap things up here for the night anyway. So if you don't mind, stick around, check out this video here, and highlighting 3+1 Outdoors, some of our favorite folks in the community. And again, thank you guys for the support, the nominations. If you haven't voted yet, go out there and grab the voting forms and choose your favorites. And we'll see you guys next Tuesday night. Same cat time, same cat channel.
Bon fish, everybody.
Let's show this back.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Hey, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Hey, thank you again to Kelly for the video there. Awesome seeing 3+1, man. You forget about how just how many fish those guys put in the boat, and just how much family is invested in there. So you know how we feel about family here. So again, thank you guys so much for another great week. Tune in next week. Who knows what we're doing? We sure don't.
Nope, not yet, but we will. We will.
Same cat time, same cat channel. Good night, everybody.